Hello, dear students. Welcome to I-Fal. My name is Teacher Nikki, and I am here to have another video lesson with you. So I am so excited to talk about a new topic for you today that will help you understand and construct better sentences using the English language. I know that these lessons will be very helpful for you to communicate using the English language that are grammatically correct and properly constructed, considering that we will be talking about some grammar topics. So I want you to concentrate on our lesson today, pay attention to our sample sentences, and please practice them very well even after the class. So let's go ahead and start our lesson. Let's go. So now let's go ahead and talk about our phrasal verbs, all right? So we are studying phrasal verbs in connection to our prepositions, all right? So let's define what phrasal verbs are. So phrasal verbs, simply put, a phrasal verb is a combination of a verb with another word or two from a different grammatical category. It could be an adverb, a preposition, or in some cases, even both. Okay? So, as you can see, our phrasal verbs can be a combination of a verb and another adverb, a preposition, or can be the two words. So, some examples of phrasal verbs here, okay, with the verb get. Okay, example with the verb get. So, we have get at, get in, get out, get off, get away, get over, get back. And they all have different meanings, okay? Now, each phrasal verb can also have multiple definitions, okay? For example, let's see what we have here. The word or the phrasal verb get out, okay? It could mean leave or escape. It also means become known, okay? So, like, for example, somehow the secret got out. Say something with difficulty. He could hardly get the words out for the tears. Clean something. That's also another meaning of get out. This detergent will get most household stains out. Okay, it could clean. And number 5, spend free time out of the house. You work too hard. You should get out more. Okay, remember that your phrasal verbs actually have different meaning than the actual words they use in the phrases. So in short, they do not literally mean what they contain in the phrase. So phrasal verbs are used more frequently in everyday speech than in formal writing or speaking. They are used often in everyday conversation by native speakers of English. So that's why we don't commonly hear a lot of English learners learning phrasal verbs, just because they are more commonly used by native speakers. But of course, they are still good to know, and some of them are actually still very useful in speaking. So moving forward, let's identify the different types of phrasal verbs, okay? First one, we have the intransitive phrasal verbs. So these types of phrasal verbs refer to phrasal verbs that are not directly related to an object. In short, they don't have a direct object. The preposition must always follow the verb directly. So if you have the preposition here, then the verb, okay, or the preposition should always follow the verb directly. So that means that they are used as phrasal verbs in a more general sense and are not used to answer the what or the who of the sentence, just to identify if they have objects. So remember, they are intransitive phrasal verbs. So we told you that the English language is sometimes unnecessarily complicated, right? So these phrasal verbs are best understood with examples. So you can see how the words are not
related to anything in particular. So let's see what we have here. So to tell somebody that your car broke down is an example of intransitive phrasal verb because there isn't a direct object with the sentence, okay? The direct object should answer the question who or what. So to say my car broke down doesn't answer either of those questions because nothing follows after, okay, your verb or phrasal verb broke down. So it is an intransitive phrasal verb. You know that broke down is a phrasal verb because broke is a verb and down is a preposition. But the phrasal verb could just as easily be replaced with the verb malfunction, so which has a different meaning than the words that it contained in the phrasal verb. Okay? The second one here we have non-separable transitive verb. So non-separable transitive phrasal verbs simply refer to phrasal verbs that do relate to a direct object. They have a direct object, so that's why it's transitive. So the phrase, okay, so the phrase in some way answers the who or what of the phrasal verb. So non-separable part, okay, because you cannot put the phrasal verb separately. Okay. Now, as we look at examples where the verb and the preposition in the phrase can be separated, but just remember in this case, the verb and preposition cannot be separated because it wouldn't make sense to do so. Like, for example, came across. Okay, she came across the pen she had been looking for behind the desk. So in this case, came across is a phrasal verb, but you know that it is an example of non-separable because you cannot separate the two words. They should always come together or be together. So we cannot say come the pen across. It should always say come across the pen. Okay, so that is just our non-separable transitive phrasal verb. Okay, moving forward, we have our optionally separable transitive verb. So in this case, we can separate the transitive phrasal verb. So transitive because they have an object. Separable, you can separate it or you cannot, depending on how you are going to use it. Okay, example here is hand out. Can you hand out the homework? So in this case, a sentence works as a transitive phrasal verb because they are asked to hand out what? The homework, okay? So now this is where the optionally separable part comes in because if you feel like it, you could have just said, can you hand the homework out? So it's your choice if you would separate the two words, okay? And put the object in between them. It still make sense, okay? It would still make sense for the meaning of your sentence, all right? Now, on the next part, the last one here is the obligatory separable phrasal verb. So it means you really have to separate your phrasal verb, okay? So they must be separated. That means that the preposition and the verb, okay, must have something between them because together the sentence wouldn't be understood. Example, I looked it up online. So looked is the verb and up is the preposition. And online is the direct object that answers what. So because it is obligatory separable, so to have the words together wouldn't be grammatically correct. So if you say, to say I looked up it online, then it would not make sense. So definitely you have to separate them. Okay, so these are just some of your examples of your phrasal verbs that we have to understand. All right?
So I hope you find our lesson today very helpful. So as I always say, the secret in making your communication skills in English better is constant practice. So I want you to please keep on practicing all the lessons that we've had in the past and even this present lesson. So I know that you can do it really well and you'll improve yourself eventually. So just keep believing in yourself and practice more, okay? Now, Please stay tuned to our more lessons here in I-Fal, and please visit our website that I will flash on the next screen. I also encourage you to please subscribe to our classes because we have a lot of amazing teachers that will help you and guide you in improving your English skills. So once again, this is Teacher Nikki. So I'll just see you again on the next classes and video lessons that we're going to have. I know that we will have more amazing lessons in the future. So stay tuned and good luck. Study harder, and I'll see you next time. Bye.